Hi guys, I am back, finishing up the 31 Days of Tarot. I know I'm a little bit late with this, like a week or so late. um, I left off on day 26, I think, so we're gonna do day 27 through to the 31st. So for day 27, we have the tarot spread that you're currently working with right now. So for me, I don't really tend to do too many spreads. Like if I have a specific like issue I want to look into, I might like Google a spread or look at, a website of someone that I like and, see what kind of spreads there are and kind of search for spreads in relation to the issue that I'm kind of thinking about that I want to do a reading about. But generally, I just do like say 2 cards or 3 cards. So let's see here. I don't generally do like past, present, future. It's more so like I would do like my first card as my center card as the energy that I need to focus on or that I'm going to be, that I need to work through in regards to something specific or maybe not specific at all. And then I'll draw 2 cards on either side to, kind of tell me how I can go about that and what I can do to help myself work through that energy. And that spread is actually not even something that I thought of. I'm sure a lot of people have different variations on it, but I first heard of it from Sandra Coons, the creator of the messenger cards. It was in the workshop that I did with Racine, with Almoon 513. So she did a whole video on that spread, and it's very simple, and I use it all the time. And I've also done like, let me see, like 2 cards and just like kind of ask a question and read them together as 1 card. Or maybe not even with a question, just, an energy or what kind of message do you have for me, that kind of thing. I've also actually, was it yeah, it was yesterday. I did the Celtic cross spread, and I have never done a Celtic cross spread before. And I have also never really done a reading with this deck, the Rider-Waite deck, before, and I don't think it'll fit here. Let me see. No, I can only fit 2 cards the way I have everything set up now, but I'll show a picture of the Celtic cross spread that I did yesterday, and can I just say that this deck and that spread like look so great together, and I just wanted to, go to the roots and look at something traditional, and it definitely helped me, and I'm still working through that spread. There's a lot of stuff that really came up for me that I need to work through. So yeah, I really like the Celtic cross spread, and it's kind of made me want to use my Rider-Waite deck a little bit more. So yeah, that's my tarot spreads that I'm working with currently. And then for day 28, we have favorite tarot, like favorite reading accessories. And there's another similar question like this early on, I forget what day, but it was our tarot rituals. And I would have to say that my answer is probably exactly the same. I don't really use too much stuff. I use incense. That's like the main thing that I like to use. And sometimes I'll pull some crystals out too. Nothing specific. Like I said before in the other video, I won't, tap into any energies of the crystals, but I like to have them around. Like, there's certain things like rose quartz and clear quartz and, that kind of thing. But really it's just about the cards and setting a space where I can use the cards. So that's reading accessories, nothing crazy. Don't, go too far into that. And for day 29, we have the deck that you get stuck on, but you're not giving up on. I think that was the question. So for me, it's the Tarot Vampires. And I bought this deck pretty early on in my tarot learning journey. And I looked through this deck earlier today, just looking at what cards are my favorite cards for the next question. And I didn't even pick any of the cards in this deck because I really don't, like, the images don't really speak to me, and I'm not really into that kind of vampire thing. And I did kind of buy this as an impulse because of Almoon 513 raving about the deck, and it is a good deck, it really is. And I got a reading recently from Jordan from Lock and Key Tarot, and he used this deck, and I really connected to the reading But for me, I'm finding it hard to really connect, and I don't really feel the want to pull it out. There are some nice images, like the artwork is cool, but there's nothing in here that, I don't know, it doesn't super speak to me. But like I said, I don't know if I've given up on using the deck, but I really haven't tried to extensively, really. But it's more so about the book, and I think I've said this before, like I won't get rid of this deck even if I never ever use it ever again. It's the book, and that's what does it for me, and that's kind of not why I got it, but something about the deck that I really like, and I think I end up referencing that book a lot when I use other decks. So yeah, definitely not getting rid of that, and I think that's the reason as to why otherwise I would probably get rid of the deck if it wasn't for the book. So for day number 30, we have our favorite tarot cards based on art or the meaning or the depiction of the meaning or both. Because I'm still learning and I haven't really like sat and worked with a lot of cards, I kind of went off of like artwork. So I'm just going to show you a few cards that I really like. Artwork wise, I mean kind of meaning wise too, because there are certain cards that I have worked enough with and I really like the way that they're depicted in these certain decks. But anyways, let's look at this one. So we have the Nine of Wands here, and I really like this Nine of Wands. Like for me, like see traditional, I'm just going to tell you what I have been feeling with this card. So, you know, he's coming up and out of something, and like he's at the end of it, right? And he looks like, oh, that was rough. That was, you know, something really rough that he had to go through, but he's almost there. Like there's the top of, you know, the tunnel that he's climbing out of, all of this stuff that he had to go through, and you know he's finally there, and he's out of shape, and he's rugged, and he's just exhausted, right? Like you can just tell it on his face. He's like, oh, and he's just gonna fall over once he gets at the top, I think. But I just really like the depiction of that. And if you look at the Nine of Wands in the what do you call this, the Fountain Tarot, like it's the same but it's a little bit different. Like I feel like in the Fountain Tarot he's like looking like he's almost at the top again, but he's looking down. He looks like he's not as tired as he is in this picture, in this depiction here. You know, he's almost like proud of what he's done, and maybe he's had a thought of, you know, maybe giving up, but he looks down and he sees all that he's accomplished, and he knows he's almost there. So he's just gonna keep going. He's almost there, you know what I mean? So I'm finally understanding different voices of decks, because like these two cards mean the same thing, but they don't, you know what I mean? Like, anyways, so yeah, there's, and I really like the Nine of Wands and I don't know, it's just, out of the wands, it's always the nine. And then I've kind of realized that I picked out swords. I really like the sword suit. So we have the Six of Swords, and this is my card for the year this year, and this is how I kind of describe 2016 as well. I really like the Six of Swords depiction here. It's a little bit more happy, like we see in the Fountain. Like you don't see any faces in the Fountain, but it's almost like, I don't want to say sadness, but it's almost like you're leaving things behind, even though you are going towards something new and better. There is that sadness of leaving something behind, and you know, and you're not, I feel like he's not looking back, but even though he may really want to. And when we have the Six of Swords here, it's, you know, we're talking about the same thing and moving on to something, but look at, she's so much more, you know, excited, and she's taking it very nonchalantly, I guess you would say. You know, she's just going for it, and she's ready for whatever comes her way, and she's, you know, she's excited and happy to be moving forward. So yes, the Six of Swords. I really like the Four of Swords in this too. I don't want to talk about each card. The Two of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Five of Cups. I think I brought this up in another video as well. And the Nine of Swords. So, and then we have the Nine of Swords here too, and it's like completely different. But I like both of the images. the Seven of Swords in the fountain. Page of Swords. Swords, 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 swords. Empress. Five of Coins I really like. The Eight of Coins. Four of Cups. And Eight of Swords. So those are just a few of my favorite art-looking images in the deck, in some of the decks. And then I thought that I would share some Oracle because I love Oracle. So I've had this for a while now, guys. You know, the Connected and Free Alchemist Oracle, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I was picking through some of these cards, and I pretty much picked like more than half the deck. So I'm like, okay, let's narrow this down just a little bit more. So I have a few cards to show you. So I really like Embrace and Opportunity, Higher Knowledge, Pleasure and Pain, Resistance, Confirmation, High Flying, Sun's Rays, Conflict, and Strength. That's a beautiful Strength card. I just love it. I just love it so much. So yeah, that's a few of my favorites in there. Not tarot related, but that's okay. It's the last day. I'm breaking the rules. And then I have some in the messenger cards that I really like. So the Beat of Your Drum. And I'm really getting sad because it's starting to come off. I don't know if you can see right there, like the words are coming off, and I'm getting some chipping on the top there, but you know, it's okay. It is what it is. Allowing, and I've talked about this card before too. This card came up a lot for me. And I really like the image and what it means as well. Same with this, I like both. Self-love, like this is just the whole experience I have with this deck, so I have to pick that card. Know that it is done. And breaking free. So yeah, those are some of my favorite things when the dog bites. Okay, so for day number 31, we have, what is the question? What will you not read for, or I think, basically, what won't you read for other people? So I've said this before, I haven't really read for other people. Yesterday, I did my Celtic Cross spread for myself, and I just like, I was talking about it to one of my friends, and I was just like, oh, let me do it for you. So I ended up doing her a Celtic Cross spread, and it was awesome. It was a great experience. So I'm slowly getting into trying to read for others to practice a little bit. But other than that, like, I don't read too much. Like, that was the first full-on reading I feel like that I've done for anybody else. So, but this is kind of what I feel like I wouldn't read about, and kind of, yeah, so let's just talk about it. And I've seen a lot of other people's videos on this too. People are talking about health, not reading about health stuff, and I would have to agree. I wouldn't read about that for anyone. Maybe, like, I think it was Kelly that was saying this from the Truth and Story, like, for yourself, maybe reading about that and, like, just kind of seeing how things are. Like, she said, you know, if she thought that she might be pregnant, she might do a reading on that, but then she would go to the doctor, right? Like, that kind of thing makes sense. Not taking it so seriously, I guess. And then, what's the other thing I have written down here? So reading for, like, if someone came and asked, they wanted to know someone else's feelings towards them in a reading. Now I wouldn't really, like, read about that in a sense, like, maybe rephrase it a little bit. But generally I probably wouldn't read about that either. Now when I'm talking about reading for myself though, I feel like it's a little bit different. I don't know why, but I feel like it is. Like, I feel like if I had that question for myself, how someone felt towards me, and someone's intentions towards me, hell yeah, I'm going to read about it. I'm going to read about it, and I'm not going to, just because I know that that person has a significance in my life, and you know, I wouldn't do it for some random Joe that I just met. Like, I don't really care. Like, it's obviously someone that means something to me in my life, so of course I'm gonna read about it, and that's just me though. Another thing I guess I wouldn't do for other people is like super predictive readings, like maybe you could classify it as like fortune readings. Like, I feel like that's not how I want to approach the tarot. Although, like, don't get me wrong, I do believe that it can be predictive. But, you know, like, if I felt something in a reading that was more predictive, like something was going to happen, I don't think that I would have any reason holding back from that. I just don't think I would have the intention to get things like that in the reading. Like, it's more so psychological, I think, for me. But if things like that come up, then I'm definitely going to bring them up and say them, because I do. It's not that I don't believe in it. It's just that that's kind of not the reading that the readings that I really want to do. But if it shows up, then that's great. That's awesome. So that's kind of how I feel about that. There really isn't too much other stuff. Like, there's the obvious things, right? Like curses and all that stuff. But, you know, I'm really not really into reading for others too much, so I can't really say too much on that. And I mean, like, if there's people that have questions, I would probably try my hardest to get them to rephrase the question, or, you know, more so from their perspective of things, not someone else. So yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. Yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching my videos, and I've met, well, I haven't actually met you guys, but I found a lot of you guys on YouTube this month, or January, and there's a lot of videos that I watched, and there's a lot more videos that I haven't watched that I'm going to, because I'm kind of far behind on that. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to Ethony, too, for putting all this together and taking the work, and you are an awesome human being, and thank you for bringing us together closer this January. It has been awesome. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night or whatever it is for you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!